Hey guys, so I previously did a guide on Solidlizard. It was a brief guide on exactly how it worked, and I just want to go more into detail about how the voting and the bribes actually work, because I think those are the most confusing things that people don't understand. So to start it off, obviously this is the home page. You launch the app, and for those who don't know, they've actually made it so you can route some of your funds through some of these pools. So it'll always go max through like two different pools, right? But it depends on the amount of liquidity. And this is just because people were having issues with wrapped ETH, and all this other stuff. But you can see yourself that sorry about that. Go through the stable pool and go through the volatile pool here. So I like this. It's very clear. It's very clear, and they're also constantly doing UI updates. So you'll probably see volatile here, stable here, and etc. But to get back to the point about vesting. So you create a lock obviously with the amount of slips that you have. So I have like 16 slips right here. We go ahead and lock it for 14 years. Lock tokens get V slips. Right, and some people get confused about this because they have a lot of emissions. They lock different ones, but you can actually merge your locked NFTs as long as they're not as long as the votes aren't being casted. This needs to be 0% right here. So when you click on all your NFTs, so this one here, I'll even have to reset myself. I might have went ahead and actually voted for this pool, but we're gonna go ahead and check. Just make sure you always reload the page for this kind of stuff, because that's just how the front ends work for Solidly Forks. It takes 4 to 5 seconds to fetch the data. So yeah, it's still 100% because I've already actually voted for specifically. Where is it? GDI LUSD. So I already did cast some votes here. I mean, it wasn't a lot of votes, but that's what I did with this one here. So I can't merge this NFT with this one and this one because, like I said, I casted the votes. But once I reset all the votes, I will go here to vest, merge my locked NFTs. So we'll click the first one, which is this one right here, and we'll click this one as well. So that they're not casted any votes. They're both locked for the period, and just keep in mind that the expiry date will go on the latest time. So to keep that in mind, this one's obviously to be January 20th. This is March 10th. So the new one will be on March 10th when it unlocks. So merge NFTs. And if you get any errors here, it's because your NFTs are being used somewhere. You might be using them to boost your farms. You might be using them to cast votes. Just remember to always. There we go. Now you got another NFT that has all that voting power. So we're gonna go ahead and vote. And make sure like this is where you switch your NFTs if you have multiple. We'll go right here. So read the page. Double check. 4, 5. Yeah, it's just a common thing with these forks. It's 4 to 5 seconds with almost everything to actually go ahead and fetch that. So the gauge is already made for LUSD and GDI. I went ahead and made the gauge, but we're gonna go ahead and vote. Put our vote to. We're gonna do 80%, and this is one thing you need to realize as well. If I was to cast a vote with 80%, it casts 100% of my votes. This is something everyone has to keep in mind because it's very important. When you want to cast your votes, you want to do it in one transaction. So keep in mind that I slid the slider to 80 right now. And if I go and want to put more onto here, I'll put the slider to 20. Now I know it's very confusing, and you know what I mean. It's a little hard to do, but just make sure before you hit the cast votes here that it's at 20. And if you're unsure of anything, just double check. Go back to your votes here, see what they are, 80. You know what I mean? To always just double check. The slider does not change. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and cast votes. So there we go. So the votes have been casted for this week, you know what I mean? And they'll continue on to the next epoch as long as you go ahead. But just keep in mind when you want to reset votes, it's 6 days from when you voted. So if we wanted to reset our votes, yes, in 6 days from now we'll be able to reset it. Another thing I want to talk about is bribes, actually, because you see these here called bribes, and what these are for, these bribes, or even sorry about that. I'll find one that actually has, like, even for the first one. So for a lot of these bribes, what it's for the voters, actually. So when you vote for a pool, these bribes are used to incentivize voting. So it incentivizes people to lock their tokens and at the same time vote with their tokens. Oh, it seems like this NFT did actually reset. So I'm going to go ahead and let's throw this on the Sliz here. This is what I mean by I should have been a bit more patient and let it fetch its data. But it's never a big deal. As long as you're reloading the page and everything, things are fine as long as you do the transactions. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that for Sliz, wrap teeth. But just keep on, the bribes are for the voters. So then when you go ahead to rewards here, this is where you see the rewards for rewards. The fees are obviously because of my previous vote, which I had already claimed, and yeah, I think there's just a little bit of ETH in there that's just not in the decimals. But a lot of these rewards, the fees are from actually voting. Rewards are from the LP. I hope I made that very clear. And just keep in mind when you do want to claim from, if you have separate entities, you do need to actually click it right here. Alrighty, guys. So, I mean, if anyone has any questions, just go ahead and ask in the Discord. The team is constantly doing more. And as well here, you'll see bribe, and then that's where more fees come from. They come from the bribe when you vote. But in respect, the team is constantly working. I mean, things are constantly being improved, and it's really the only part of DeFi that I actually see growing, especially on Arbitrum. I see a lot of projects on Arbitrum launching and dying out, but this is the only project that I've seen really just build on top of what they have and not stop regardless of market conditions. So I just want to go over the rewards and bribes and everything because that's the part that people usually get the most confused. So thanks for listening, guys, and if you have any questions, just tag me in Discord at Gum13, or just tag any one of the moderators or even one of the team members. They're really nice people in there, and they'll answer any question. There's no stupid questions. All right, guys, happy farming, and just keep your investments. Try to manage your risk. Sorry, is what I'm trying to say. This is obviously a farm token and everything, but we know what happened with Velodrum, so manage your risk, try to farm, but put some of your rewards towards the Sliz pool, because as long as the Sliz LPs are really heavy and they have a lot of votes, a lot of bribes, this protocol is free to run for as long as possible, and the partnerships will only grow from here. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.